Good morning, afternoon, or evening. My name is Benjamin, and welcome to part 2 to my Godot 3 platformer series. And in this video, we're going to be creating a tile set. I have also, I want to tell you guys, you can hold Control and then use the mouse wheel to zoom in on your code, and I'm going to do that to make it easier for you guys to read this. So if you were watching the last video, you had a hard time reading the code that I wrote, I'm zoomed in now, so you can take a look and write it down now. So from now on, I'll have it zoomed in, so you won't have to worry about that anymore. Okay, so let's get started in creating our tile set. So in order to create a tile set, well, first of all, I have downloaded an art pack from opengameart.org. This is from Kenny, he's the author, and he's made this lovely little platformer art pack. You've probably seen it before because he's set it to public domain. Very generous of him. I'd recommend checking out his stuff, coming to this. I'll leave a link to this in the description so you can download it as well. And I just exported it, and then I went into my project folder. So if we come into Godot 3 right here, you can see mini platform game. This is the project folder we created. I just created a textures folder, and then I copied everything into here. So we've got that all nice and neat. We can access it right here now. So first, let's create a tile set. And the way that you do this in Godot is by creating a new scene. So this scene, the current scene that we're in, is where the player and all these objects are. We're going to create a new scene where we can create our tile set. And you can do that by clicking this plus button up here and scroll in and out. Now we need to create a root node again, so we'll create one. I just clicked this little plus up here again and created an empty node. We're going to name this tile set. Well, let's just name it, actually let's name this one ground tiles. Okay, now the reason I'm naming it this is because when we save this scene, that will be the default name. So if you hit Control S, it wants to save this scene as well. It'll be called ground tiles, and that's perfect. That's just what we want. Okay, now we're going to add a new tile to this, and we're going to add a new sprite. So just type in sprite up here in the search and double click on sprite node right here. And we'll come into our tiles down here. And which one do we want to use? There's a whole bunch here. They all look really good. I'm thinking like kind of a grass one. This one right here is probably a pretty good one to start with. Yeah, we'll go for grassy first. He's got a lot of different ones here that we could use, but let's go for the grass one. So we'll scroll all the way up. We'll grab this grass one. It's just called grass PNG. We'll drag this over into our texture, and boom, there we go. Now I don't know the size of this. Let's check our scale. So let's come into our grid, configure snap, and it's 32 by 32. So it's a little bit bigger than our objects in here, because I'm pretty sure that these right here are, oh no, this is 64 by 64 as well. So that's perfect then. I think it's the right size. So then we'll come over here to our sprite, and I'm just gonna give this a name of grass. We'll just name it the same thing as it's named here to be consistent. And I'm going to give it an offset of, we don't want it to have an offset of centered. Okay. And we need to give our tile a collision. So in order to give this tile a collision, we're going to click on the grass node, press this, and we'll add a static body, doing a search here, static body 2D. Okay. And then the static body 2D, we need to add our collision shape to it. So just do collision shape 2D and do new rectangle shape, just like we did before. We'll drag this right here. And remember, you can drag the extents out. Like this. It looks like our tile actually isn't the right size. The grass here. But we can scale it. We can scale it down a little bit. So let's see, what if I just click on it and drag it, that will scale it. Now that ruins our collision shape though to scale that. So let's delete our collision shape and let's set our static body, make sure that its scale is set to 1, 1, okay. But the grass's scale, we scaled it down just a little bit by grabbing these to make sure it was 64 by 64. So let's add a collision shape again and do a rectangle shape 2D. Drag it here, drag it out. Okay, so now our grass tile has a static body 2D and a collision shape attached to it. So now we can save this scene, the ground tiles. And I actually had a comment about those load errors. That basically just means Windows doesn't think we have permission to alter the files yet. So if you just wait a second, hit save, you're good to go. Seems to be something that comes up on Windows. It's not really a big deal. So you can just kind of ignore it. It is a little annoying, but you know, it's not going to break your game or anything. So let's do, now that we've created this right here in our scene, we can go to Scene, Convert to Tile Set. And this turns the scene into a tile set. So we want to name it. We'll just name this Ground Tile Set .tres. That's a resource extension. So ground tile set.tres and save. Okay, now we can close out of this scene and come back into our old scene. We don't need our walls anymore, so let's delete all of the walls like that. And you actually might have had, I had put all the walls in under another node. I think I did that later, but it doesn't matter. Just go through and click on each wall, press delete and delete them. If you hold shift, you can select multiple nodes at once. And that will get rid of all your walls. Now, how do we add tiles? Well, we need to add a tile map to this world. So click on the world, click the plus button and search tile map. Now this is how you add tiles. We're going to come into our resources again up here, and we're going to find our tile set, ground tile set.tres. Don't use the ground tiles.tscn. Don't use the scene because that one won't work. We need the tile set.tres, and you can drag that over here to the tile set where it says null. Drag and drop that right there, and you can see our tile. It shows up right there. And it seems the scaling might not have worked how I imagined that it would. So we might need to actually scale this resource outside of the project, which we could do. But let's make sure this all works first. So let's place some tiles. Yeah, that doesn't look very good because it didn't scale properly. But let's just make sure this works. And it does. So we've got collisions, and you can place the tiles very easily inside of the room. Great. So the scaling didn't work, and the way that we can fix this is I'm just going to use paint.net. It's a free program you can download. I'm going to open inside of Documents, Godot 3, Mini Platform Game, Textures, Tiles. I'm going to open our grass tile, and then I'm just going to say Image, Resize, and then we'll set this to 64. Not sure why it's set to 70. It seems like a little bit of an interesting number to choose, but we'll just set ours to 64 and then just press Control S to save. It should auto save that, and it updates it. Now our tile set sort of updated, but it's kind of messed up. So let's double click on our ground tiles again. this time the scene. And we'll come into here, and we'll need to delete our collision shape again. And we'll just set the scale on this. Well, we can just drag it back out. Shouldn't that set the scale to 1? Let's see. Yep, that sets the scale back to 1. Now we can attach a collision shape back to this. And new rectangle shape. Drag it here. Bring these out. Press save. Control S. Then we're going to do scene, convert to tile set, and just save right over our ground tile set. And we can come back into here, and you can see now we have the proper scale, and it doesn't look weird. So you might need to scale the image to get it to work properly for you, but it shouldn't be too hard. You should be able to use, you know, there are a lot of free programs out there that you could use to scale the image properly. And now we have a working tile set inside of the game. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll probably be doing another one. Godot has some options for auto tiling and stuff, so I'll show that stuff as well later on. And one of you requested moving along slopes, so I'll do a video for that as well. I don't know how far I'm going to take this series, basically till I feel like I've covered the basics of a platformer. I don't want to get too advanced with this series, but I do want to get people started using Godot and trying it out to see if they like it as an engine. You know, there's a lot of different engines out there and a lot of different people out there and a lot of different problems out there. And some engines work better with some people and work better with certain problems. And so I think it's good to learn a variety of engines and use kind of the one that suits your project the best. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up, and I will talk to you guys later.